This IM doesn't even have a proper brand name. So hello and welcome to Aftersound Review, and this is my review for Audio Hekili. Yes, you heard that right. The brand of this IM is Audio. Straight right, but nevertheless it has tons of cult following, and apparently it does sounds amazing. So just like usual, I will break down this review from the build, fit, frequency response, sound, and comparison. And this IM is using 7 balance armature and 1 dynamic driver for $300. Build quality wise, they are using simple resin for its housing, so nothing really special about this, but maybe you could see there's a quite big vent hole around the edge here, and you could actually see the inside of the nozzle itself. It doesn't have filter, so it's like this, and they are using MMCX connector with very flexible kind of cable. Even though they look quite bulky, but honestly for my ears, the fit or the ergonomics is just fine, and I could wear them for hours without any complaint. It's quite clear that the tonal of this IM is leaning towards V-shape with a lot of bass around the mid-bass to sub-bass area, and also it has some peaks around upper mid-range to treble area that actually extends quite well, and that's exactly what I hear from this IM. This IM has a lot of energy both on the low frequency and also high frequency, making this IM to be simply V-shaped kind of IM, but it's a really complete V-shape with the bass, even though it's energetic, but it's reaching really good depth, and also the treble, again, it's energetic treble, it reached really high, but at least for my ears, it never goes into fatigue territory. Going to the low frequency first, I do think that this IM will satisfy a lot of people that likes bass, because the bass is just simply thumping. It's thick, but it's well controlled and deep. So if you are listening to EDMs, pop, in electronic musics, this will definitely satisfy your needs for that thumping kind of bass. And I do like that it still maintains a good texture, but maybe it's not fast enough for maybe rock or metal music. But other than that, I do find this IM is simply thumping really good. Going to the mid-range, there's obviously a little bit of recession that I do feel when I'm hearing music from this IM. The main elevation is mostly on the bass and also upper frequency on the treble area, but the mid-range is somehow still well maintained and it never goes into shouty territory. It is simply not forward enough maybe for some acoustic or vocal vocus music, but for actually the balancing is quite good. Male and female vocals sounds quite balanced. It's just the positioning and also simply the quantity of the mid-range is not forward for some of the vocal lovers out there. But I do find that this vocal is well balanced, maybe a little bit leaning towards female a bit because of a lot of treble energy there, but I never find that male vocal is overly thin in here. So it's a really well maintained mid-range, even though there's a lot of energy on the lower and also upper frequency. Well, in terms of upper frequency or treble area, I do find that this IM is simply energetic but never goes across metallic. It has a lot of energy. You hear cymbals, violin, and a lot of percussion in a forward position because of how they emphasize the treble area. But the good thing is, for me, they never goes over. They never gone into metallic, sibilance, or harsh territory. So for me, even though they have a lot of energy in the treble area, it is still well controlled and well maintained. But it's just that the timbre, maybe in some violin, you could hear a little bit of BA-ish timbre, but nevertheless, that's minor issue. So as a whole, this IM is simply a V-shape, but with well-controlled mid-range and also extended and high-quality bass and treble extension. It's for those who likes energetic kind of presentation, but still well maintained, a good balance overall. In terms of technical, this IM is simply top-notch. in $300 price point, I do find that this IM is among the best. Like if you're comparing them with the Blasting 2 or some other great IMs like the Awful Performer for hybrid driver, it is simply up there. It is simply really good territory, but it doesn't goes into moondrop variation territory. But for the price, it is simply reasonable. You get a lot of stage depth, you get this 3D presentation, you get this good separation that you do get in a multi-driver sensation, and also you do get a really nice clarity and resolution. So as an overall, both tonal and technical, I simply say that this IM is complete. It's just in terms of tonal, maybe you want more relaxing. If you want something more relaxing, this is not for you. But if you want something energetic with a lot of bass and treble energy, but still maintain all frequency, keep somehow a little bit balanced, I do find that this IM is one of the best V-shape around the price point. And if you ask me, how is it compared directly with the Blasting 2? Simply said, Blasting 2 has more focus towards the upper mid-range, and it's making somehow a more leaner sounding IM. It does make sounds vocal more forward, and you could hear the vocals more clearly because it's simply placed more forward compared to the bass and treble area. But the Blasting 2 actually for me lacks dynamics and excitement when I'm hearing them for some EDM, some pop or electronics music, while this audio Hekili give you definitely more thumping and more dynamics presentation to make you shake your head. Simply said, the Awful Performer compared to this audio Hekili, the Awful Performer sits like between the Hekili and also the Blasting 2. The Blasting 2 still is the most leaner of the three, is the least exciting. The Awful Performer is more exciting with less upper mid-range presentation, actually, that makes it sounds more bland for some vocal. It's not as forward as the Hekili or the Blasting 2, but nevertheless still sounds good, and it's not as exciting as the Hekili. And also, even though it has a proper treble extension, again, it's not as exciting and it's not as impactful as the Hekili in terms of treble presentation. So if you ask me personally, I would say that I personally like the Hekili better than the Awful Performer 5. So it is an amazing IM from a strange or maybe unknown brand, but other than that, really good job for Audio Hekili for giving us a really good IM for $300, and it's a well-tuned V-shaped IM. And therefore, I could give this IM this final rank for its tonal and also technical, and this is for my final score. Amazing IM from, again, Audio Hekili. Good job. Thank you for watching and see you next time. Bye bye.